Well, it's another beautiful day here in South Mississippi, and I am here at the Grand Bay Coastal Resource Center, which is on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, right here at the Mississippi-Alabama line. And today I'm going to check out the Savanna Trail. So this trail is about 1.5 miles through this pine savanna. That's kind of in a, not really a wetlands area, but it's not exactly a dry area, let's just say. There's lots of signs and such here. Where they are tracking different types of plants. I'm sure there's a good explanation, and of course this is at a resource center, so they're doing a lot of research and things like that. So don't expect to see a whole lot of wildlife or anything on this trail. It does look like it's a very nicely maintained trail, as you can see here how it's cut through the low-lying bushes here, I guess you'd say. But it just makes a big 1.5 mile loop through this pine savanna. Now this area is just up the road from the Oak Grove Trail that I showed y'all in a previous video. It's kind of the same area. I'm not sure if it's still part of the Grand Bay National Wildlife Refuge or not, or it could be part of the Sandhill Crane Refuge. I'm not exactly sure. A lot of this area used to be homes. There's a road that runs right through there. Prior to Katrina, there were some homes sporadically on the road. Now this area is very close to the Gulf of Mexico. I'm probably maybe a 1/2 mile, 3/4 mile from the Gulf of Mexico, which is kind of behind me. So when 20 some odd foot storm surge comes through here and there's nothing to stop it or slow it down because it's relatively flat out here, it devastated the homes in this area. Now there were some that were on stilts already, but for the most part they were just traditional homes, either on slabs or a couple blocks up off the slab, something like that. So after Katrina came through, devastated a lot of these houses, FEMA, MEMA, federal government pretty much bought them all out and tore down the houses, that sort of thing, kind of reclaimed the land, I guess you will. And then the government agency, I'm not sure if they gave it to these local Grand Bay wildlife research, or I'm not sure exactly how that went, but it ended up being wildlife refuges, resource centers, things like that, and that's where we are today. Now, as far as I can recall, I've never known houses to be in this area that we're in now, but I do recall prior to Katrina there were some houses just past those trees there. And like I said before, there's nothing out here but empty lots. And there's a couple roads, and there's a boat launch down behind us too, and a shooting club not too far away. You might be able to hear some gunfire. Nobody's shooting at me. It's just a shooting range, legitimate shooting range. But yeah, even some of the roads that are out here used to be a couple spur roads off of this road, and they closed those off and gated those off because there's no reason for anybody to be down those roads, and kind of letting nature reclaim itself. They probably even tore up the roads. But we're going to keep on hiking here. Like I said, there's not too much to see here, but if you just wait at the end of the video, there is a boardwalk, a very nice substantial boardwalk that they've recently built that we're going to go take a look at. It takes us out into one of the marshes of the Gulf of Mexico Escatawpa River basin, that sort of thing. And we'll do that here at the end of this hike. Like I said, this is 1.5 miles. And I believe that boardwalk is well over 1,000 feet, or that other little side trail is over 1,000 feet long. So this is a really good way to stretch your legs. The scenery is not all that great, as you can see. I've also heard if you come out here in the summertime, the bugs will carry you away out here. The horse flies, deer flies, things like that. I was going to come out here last year, but every time I came out here or was going to come out here, I kept on reminding myself of the deer flies and horse flies. I didn't want to get eaten up by them. And also, I don't know if you can tell, this ground in this area holds water, maintains water. Like I said, we're kind of a somewhat wetlands area. Sorry for the wind, guys. So it holds water. I've also heard there's some places on this trail that you may have to walk through water after a rainstorm. So I haven't come across any water yet. It's been about 2 or 3 days since it's rained here, but we're not but maybe halfway through the trail, so we'll see what we come across. So here's kind of the first sign of wildlife. You see that right there, that little mud mound? That's typically crawfish. They burrow down in the mud. And just beside that is some poop. That poop is probably fox, possibly coyote. I'm not a poop expert, but if you notice inside of it, looked like there was some fur, some hair, which probably means the animal was eating other animals. So probably a coyote. That's my guess. But we're going to continue on. We're kind of the back half of the trail now. It's heading back towards the parking lot. But before we get to the parking lot, we're going to do that boardwalk trail and see where it takes us. And it's interesting to see the marshland that's out that way. Osprey that are building that huge nest on top of that power pole. If you don't know what an osprey is, I think of them as a mad seagull. They're very territorial. If you get too close to their nest, they'll dive bomb you, and they're not very nice. I want to say they are, I'm probably wrong, I want to say they're in kind of the hawk family, something like that. But one thing's for sure, I'm glad they're over there and I'm way over here. So we've come out of that savanna and turned and kind of crossed over this power line run here. If you can see there, the top right, there's another osprey nest. Turn back around. That is the one we previously saw. If you look down at the next one, there's another osprey nest, and another osprey nest, and another osprey nest, and looks like about 2 or 3 more down there. So if you come out here, there's a good chance you're gonna see osprey. There's one flying around. I thought I got some video of it. We'll see how it turns out. It's kind of hard to track them. And this is kind of interesting how the trail It goes from that savanna to this kind of thick, brushy part of the trail. And this is going back towards the boardwalk that we are coming upon right now. Now if you go left, it's going to take you back to the resource center, but we're going to go to the right and we're going to take a look and follow the boardwalk. It's going to take us towards the marsh, so let's head on this way. Now there's lots of birdhouses they got sporadically placed along this boardwalk. And if you remember the Oak Grove Trail that we just did here earlier, the tags on the trees, here's another tag. This one you actually see, it says red maple. So that's kind of cool that you can look at the tags and see what kind of trees they are. I didn't know there was that many types of trees in South Mississippi. You think maple trees kind of a northern thing. Maybe it's just me. I'm thinking maple syrup. You don't ever hear about people tapping maple trees down in the south for maple syrup. But I guess there's different type of maple trees. But I digress. This boardwalk is very well maintained. I like how it's up off the ground a little bit. So if this area floods, the visitors to the resource center can still come out here and enjoy it. Now that resource center, I'm not sure the times they're open. Obviously they're not open today on Sunday. I'm gonna go do a little research and I'll put the times and days they're open on the screen here. So if you're ever in the area, you can go inside there and see what that's all about. I'll make that trip one day. But not too far from the end of the boardwalk here. And as you can see, it's starting to open up where this bayou comes through. At the end of the boardwalk here is a nice informational placard. You can kind of see we're right here. That's where we parked the car. And there's the trail. And we kind of meander down here to this point here. That says thousands of years ago, this area here was actually the Escatawpa River, and over the years it moved course to the west to meet up with the Pascagoula River, leaving these oxbow lakes here and there. Also on the sign it's talking about a gentleman that has an idea to take some of these oxbow lakes and make a canal to some of them to make oyster farms and oyster reefs, which that'd be pretty interesting. Maybe we can get some fresh local oysters, maybe draw down the price some more, but that's just something they're speculating on happening. You can see out there in the distance, looks like there's a good sized fire going. Yeah, that's not good. But another good thing is there's this nice little park bench. I'm gonna sit here and see if I can see some wildlife, some birds, something. Last couple nature trails, I didn't get to sit down and enjoy myself or relax. But I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and see what happens. So I'm heading back to the car. Didn't see anything spectacular. A couple birds flying over, nothing noteworthy of videoing. Beautiful day though, enjoyed sitting there and just relaxing. If you do come out here, I would suggest coming out here during the week. The gun club that's just over that way for the woods there, they're pretty busy on the weekends when everybody's off of work, understandable. So kind of the gunfire kind of takes away from the natural aspect of the area, but it's not a big deal. Just out getting about, getting you some fresh air, get you some miles on the shoes, that sort of thing. It ain't a big deal. But I think there's a bird crossing the path. But yeah, I'm gonna come out here one day when the center is open and see what it's all about. It's a pretty big building. I'm not sure how much of it's open to the public to utilize or look at, but I'm gonna find out. I'll take my daughter out here. But overall, it's a pretty nice boardwalk. And the Savanna Trail was interesting. Let's just say that it was flat and interesting. That was about it. And there's some more poop. Kind of the same type of poop we saw earlier. And there's some more. So whatever it is, I think it's a fox or maybe a coyote. I don't know. But anyways, not too far from the end of the boardwalk here, coming back to the resource center and head back to the car. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching and coming along with me. We'll see you next time.